I'm so curious to see your reaction to it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing Dix the Musical.
This came out a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
It looked so funny when I was watching the trailer. Like Nathan Lane, Megan Mullally, love both of them.
Bowen Yang's in there.
Megan
as God.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, it looked so fun. What did you think of it?
Well, going in, I was just like completely unaware. I thought that it was just like a net new film. And then I found out, after watching it, that it was a sketch or a show that was actually put on by UCB, or the Upright Citizen Brigade, for 10 years ago, and then was performed many times, and that the two main characters actually played all the characters at some point. So they would switch, and then they'd gotten a deal, and then they were able to cast who they wanted. Of course, like Nathan Lane, Megan Mullally, and that's how and Megan Thee Stallion, and that's how it came to be. Going in, had really nothing other than the trailers, and I thought that those are funny, and I actually really enjoyed this movie.
I thought it was fun. There were definitely parts of it. It sort of seemed like I don't even remember the Lindsay Lohan twins separated.
Oh, Freaky Friday type situation. Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. If you mixed it with South Park.
Yeah, it's like silly.
Right. Like Team America is what I was thinking. Yeah. So if you cross those two things, that's what you would get. I was very put off by the sewer boy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. My favorite part of the film was the sewer boys and their mealtime. But how serious Nathan Lane had to be to interact with and give the sewer boys their ham. I had tears in my eyes.
I thought that the outtakes at the end were my favorite part, where he's
they were great.
doing it, and he's like, "What am I doing right now?"
It was great. It's just so funny to see him in a film like this, because I see him as so Broadway and so established, and he's doing something so silly and so ridiculous.
All right, let's go to the slide. Long pause.
I'm very, very invested in this, because I'm like, I wonder what your score is. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. This is your lowest rated movie ever.
It might be. Here's the thing. I like Nathan Lane, and I like Megan Mullally, and I was very disturbed by the sewer boys. I would not recommend this to someone. I personally didn't really, there were parts of it that I enjoy, but not that many of them. So yes, the whole thing was just not.
You're no, it's a no.
Yeah.
I would have to say I saw it in a crowded theater of people who were laughing their heads off and had a really wonderful time. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but I recommend it for certain friends that would like silliness and ridiculousness. Yeah.
But I will say, I went home and I put the slide together, I put my rating into our database, and then I went to see Anatomy of a Fall. And as we were leaving the show, the guy who plays the guy with long hair in Dix the Musical was also watching Anatomy of a Fall, and he was coming out of the theater too. And he's very distinctive looking, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mistake him for someone else. I was just like, Dax, I think that is the guy from Dix the Musical. And then I felt bad. Because I was like, oh, maybe I didn't watch this in this right frame of mind, or in the spirit of that it was being put out in, because clearly this guy is watching good movie, right? Like Anatomy of a Fall won Palme d'Or. So maybe I just didn't understand it. But I left my ratings alone. I left them stand as my initial reaction.
I would have been so funny if you like just, gently tugged at his jacket and was like, hey, I hated Dix the musical, but I'm so happy that you like serious films.
And I don't even know if he liked Anatomy of a Fall. He was just leaving the theater at the same time we were. So it was at AMC 25, and we were on the top floor. So you have to take the escalator down, and you take the escalator down. So we were like near him for a long time. So there were plenty of opportunities where I could have just turned around and said, hey, I saw Dix the musical. I think you're the guy in it. Props to you for getting out there and watching other stuff.
How are the Sewer Boys? I hated them.
Right. And I read an article about the Sewer Boys. Like afterwards, I was like, is this a thing that I just don't know about? Like, is this a cultural phenomenon? Like, I wouldn't know. It turns out other people find them as off-putting as I do.
Oh.
I know. Maybe I'll love what they do next.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're all over the comedy scene. Actually at the Bell House in New York, they actually have a show around the holiday season. They're doing like a holiday season show and it's sold out. So they have an audience. Well, I think they had like an audience, prior to this film, but I do believe that they're still doing big things. So
awesome. I mean, I'd be willing to go see other things that they do.
No.
I'm glad I saw it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, and I'm not going to see it again.
Fair.
Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
So we have a ton of. It's Oscar season. I was saying Oscar season. Why? I don't know. Well, the strike is over. Yay. Tentative agreement. So there are a ton of films. The Holdover, Dream Scenario, Poor Things, Napoleon, Wish. Is that the name of it? Yeah. Like the Disney film. The new Hunger Games film. It's time.
Now for the new Hunger Games film. Will I need to go watch the Hunger Games films from before?
I have no idea, but probably not. How about you? You're like, no. They're on TV now. Like, when things come out, they try to like catch you up on stuff. Or like what? Yeah. So, what I've been watching, I guess on like FX, they have the films going, just like actually the woman who is the lead in Priscilla, she's actually in, the name escapes me, but it's the Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. There we go. Pacific Rim sequel, like from 7 or 8 years ago. And I was like, why is this on? And then I was like, well, no, there's been 2.
Okay.
And she's like a lead. I think there's a few folks in that film, but she's a lead in that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting that they're showing this. And she's, the lead in Priscilla. And I'm like, I would have never thought. But I think programming on television lately in the last year or so has been, if there's a popular film that's out now, they'll find, actors or other films that these actors were in to play on television. So
yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like they should totally do that. I also saw Saltburn.
Okay.
So we can talk about it after we watched Saltburn, but I feel like Jacob Elordi has been around more. Like I didn't know who he was before Priscilla, and now it's like, oh, he's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah. This weekend they're gonna show a Metrograph a Bong Joon-ho movie, Barking Dogs Never Bite. So
yes,
see that as my thing to plug. That is what I'm plugging.
Wait, you're seeing that?
Yes, Saturday at 5:15. in case anyone wants to try to stalk me. That's where I'll be. Although this probably won't get posted before then, so you'll too bad.
I believe it's on Criterion because I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it because we went. I want to say after Parasite, a lot of his films are kind of like all over streaming, and at some point, I believe it was on Criterion. So.
Okay. See, they should have, when Parasite came out, Hulu should have bought his whole catalog and put it on.
I agree. They probably did do The Host because I feel like The Host was on at least like Hulu or Netflix for a very long time, and then like they took it off. So
Mother was on Netflix for a while, and so was Memories of a Murder.
mm.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.